Okay, so here we are, yeah, the 23rd. And Hayom Yom, what to tell us? When Reb Moshe, one of the sons of the Alter Rebbe, was between 8 and 11 years old, excuse me, he was studying the passage in Gemara Gittin, which was praising the virtues of the sages. And there, Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, a Zohar author, and we have to remember one of the great Tanoim of the Halacha, the Mishnah as well, Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, said, God says, learn my midos. In other words, God says, I have 10 midos, right? Chabad, Chagas, Nahim, and so do you. I structured you the way I'm structured. So learn from my midos. And Moshe was in doubt about the meaning of that last word, since there in the word midos. Since there, Rashi interprets the word midos, my teachings. And the simple meaning of midos is my traits of character. So which is it? Teachings, learn from my teachings, or learn from my traits of character? At that moment, the Alter Rebbe came in, and he said, in the chant he habitually used, I'm not going to try to imitate the chant because I never heard it. The Torah given us all is fine character traits. Even the punishments there are in truth acts of kindness and goodness. The two interpretations are one and interdependent. There can be no fine character traits, that's the simple meaning, midos, no fine character traits without Torah, which is teachings. There can be no Torah and vice versa without fine character. So exactly the same incident happened to the Tzemach Tzedek when he was between 8 and 11 years old. Got it? No Torah without fine character traits. One has to work on oneself, refine oneself. And then to the extent that one does that, the Torah is more and more absorbed. Lessons in Tanya. Page 289 in this volume 4. And in Likutei Amorim, page 248, and it's a little lower than the middle. The line begins Beshava, Besh, Shun, Vav, He. If you count up from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And over on the left, it says Vehine. So we're talking about tzedakah, right? And you have mercy on someone else, Hashem will have mercy on you. So we're as usual, broadening tzedakah is not just money, but in any way that you have rachamim, show rachamim down here below, that will elicit the rachamim from above. And the person halachically has to give 1/10, and a mitzvah min hamuvchar, even if you want to beautify the mitzvah, you can bring 1/5. And the Alter Rebbe says on that, zehu al pi shuras adin goimer. This is if you're behaving so shuras adin, according to the straight line of judgment. Aval be'emes, but in truth, in talking about giving tzedakah to others who are in need, in truth, gamim hu inyan dalei shaya kol kach haitam. Even if it's not so relevant, right? That we used the example earlier of a person, the things are so bad, the affliction and poverty is so bad that people are literally crying out, help me, help me. So he said, even if it's not that way, even if it's not that people are really crying out, nevertheless, roy l'chol adam, it's fit for all people. Don't be so particular and measured with yourself. Lahamid al din, and stand on the judgment and say, look, I'm giving 1/5. I'm giving more than 1/10. Well, the 1/5 and the 1/10 are part of what Halakha speaks about. But when people are crying out, you could do more than that. and can do more, and should do more than that if you can. Push aside, squeeze a little bit more, squeeze out a little bit more from yourself, from your own life, and go and go deeper than, higher than the straight line of what the din of the Torah says you should be giving. And worry about yourself, according to the Maimon Rizal, according to the words of our sages. Anyone who's strict with himself in this matter of tzedakah, so they will be strict with you, chas v'sholem, up above. Right? And neither the face you show to the water is the face you get back. If you show a face of I'm being strict and holding back, then they will show that same result to you. Think about that. Even though all of us need the mercy of heaven at all times, that mercy and that help from heaven is directly proportional to the arousal that we do down here below. Each and every moment that we have, to arouse our mercy, on those who need our mercy. And anyone who's strict with his heart, faithful to his heart, and conquers this midah of rachamim, so if you overcome your limitation and push yourself a little bit, so similarly, this is just the opposite of what we said earlier. If you're strict, they will be strict. If you are pushing yourself to be more merciful, God himself will be more merciful with you. And furthermore, even if you're not so into what we've just said, just think about the fact that no person is perfect, right? And we need, and the imperfections that we have create, as it were, and this is the language we've used before, small blemishes up above. There's no person who's not in need of some healing, of some disconnect that's occurred in our relationship with Hashem. There's no person who's Ya'asa Toiv Tomid, who does continually all the time good, except, of course, the Tzaddik Gomer, but he's speaking to us Beinanim. Remember, this is Sefer Shel Beinanim, Halavai Beinanim. So there's no person who's always like that, who has never sinned. And tzedakah cleanses, atones and cleanses. Umagina, and it's a shield, min hapuronias, from any kind of punishment or negativity. Tzedakah shields oneself from any negative events, chas v'sholem. And therefore, from that perspective, it's a healing to the body and the soul. The person will give flesh for flesh. A person will, the meaning of this is, a person will give up anything for his life. And know that if you give up anything more than you usually do, and for the poor, you're actually giving Hashem an opportunity to give you and heal whatever healing is needed, and to give you both the healing of the soul and the healing of the body. So it's good for your physical health as well as your spiritual health to push a bit and not be so strict in tzedakah. So he'll more, even more so. We are, in addition to everything we've said, we are maminim, we're believers. B'nei maminim, the children of believers. Tzedakah is nothing more than a loan to Hashem. It's interesting, right? And we're giving him something so that he can use it, right? You give someone needs money, so he can use it for something. So we're giving money to Hashem so he can use it to help people with his great generosity. So we're lending him money. Because you can see, as it's written, it's a pasuk. It's a pasuk in Mishlei. Malva Hashem Chainin Dal. A loan to Hashem are the gifts to the poor. And he will repay you. God will repay you double. In this world, because the reward of the mitzvah is not in the world, in Olam Hazeh, except for tzedakah. Right? Usually, that's the normal, we would say, the reward of a mitzvah is not in this world, it's in the next, except for tzedakah. Tzedakah, when you give, he gives, and he gives the ruchnius and in gashmius in this world. Because why? Because the good that you're doing is in this world, that you're doing good to the creatures, the creation. Kasiv is written in Gemara Kedushin, Seif Perakam in the end of the first chapter of Gemara Kedushin. And also, a person has to be a bit concerned about how have my deeds been. Every night, like Krishma Alamita, we're meant to make a cheshbon and nefesh and to take account of the things which need improving. And there's no person who doesn't need improvement. There's no person who doesn't have to worry about the punishments that can come. And we're particularly speaking about a case when there's a group, let's say, we're raising money for food for the poor for Rosh Hashanah. And there are many groups who are doing it. And there are groups out there doing it, and you're not involved in one of those groups? Think about that. And the strictness and the negativity that can come from separating Yotzim a klal, to separate yourself from the klal of Yidden who are involved in mitzvahs. And you're not counted with them. Kanoida, as is known from the sages, the saying of our sages in Gemara Chagiga. It says that those who listen will come sweetness or pleasantness. And then there will become, if you listen to what I've been saying, the Alter Rebbe is now speaking from his heart to each one of us. If you listen to what I just said and what I'm saying to you, the whole milin hagamitim and all the good things, and the toivus Hashem l'toivim v'yishorim, then Hashem, who is all good, will give good to those who are upright. B'nafsham b'nefesh hadrashe shalom, speaking from the soul to the soul of the one who is seeking peace for everybody. This is the Rebbe speaking about himself. The kol lev nefesh. I'm speaking to you from the depth, the entirety of my heart. That's today's stuff. Pretty clear, pretty simple. But as we said, it's always pushing a bit more. And that pushing a little bit more causes Hashem to push it a little bit more. Okay, any comments, questions? So we'll just have to do it today, and we'll see you tomorrow.